We've all heard of urban legends, those tales that were told in our youth as a mechanism to discourage bad behavior or to keep us away from the more dangerous and seedy areas of town. But is there more to it than that? How do we know with undeniable certainty that these urban legends are just tales and not fact? And if they are just invented stories meant to send a chill down our spines in front of the campfire, is it then possible that if a story is told enough, that it becomes true? Is it possible that the fictional tales we tell in the dark could become fact if we tell them enough and believe in them enough? Hey kids, welcome home. Tonight we're going to pack up and point the car southeast of Nebraska City in Nebraska, where we will investigate the tale of what has been dubbed Seven Sisters Road, thus named after the horrifying tale of a young man who reportedly hung each of his 7 sisters from trees located on the 7 hills that span the length of this eerie road. What would lead to such a drastic course of action? Is it true? How did this come to be? And, of course, is the road haunted? Let's find out together as we travel down Seven Sisters Road. Anyone who has a sibling will tell you that rivalry pretty much comes with the territory. Don't get me wrong, having a sibling can be great, almost like having a built-in best friend. But when you spend so much time with a sibling, it can also be a nuisance and an irritant, leading to infighting and petty arguments. But how do you handle the bad times? Do you prank your sibling? Replace their shampoo with Nair? Put gum on their chair? Or has been a theme for us on our travels, would you get your revenge through murder? For over a century, the urban legend surrounding the 7 sisters has been prevalent through southeast Nebraska. Ask anyone who lives in the area and they will tell you the grisly tale of just how L Street got its more commonly known name. According to the grisly tale, back in the early 1900s, there was a family that lived along the 7 rolling hills that spanned the side of L Street. This family of 10, consisting of a mother and father and their 8 children, 7 girls and 1 boy. For the most part, the family was your typical Nebraska family. They lived on farmland, so the work was hard, but not uncommon. Life would be fairly normal from day to day, until one fateful night, when all that would change. The son apparently got into a heated battle with his family, and while to date no one has been able to find definitive details as to what the argument was about, there have been some assumptions that the son was fed up with working on the farm so hard, while his sisters left a more leisurely lifestyle. He reportedly was so infuriated that he stormed out of the house to cool off. Unfortunately, his anger would not dissipate, and after his parents had headed out for an evening together, he took his revenge on his 7 perfect sisters. It is reported that he enticed each of his sisters out of the house, one by one, and hung them individually, one from each of the 7 trees along the 7 hills on the roadside, until they were all gone. In one even more disturbing variation of the events of that evening, it is reported that one of the sisters was 7 months pregnant when she was murdered, and the brother cut open her stomach so the fetus fell free of her body. But what is the most infuriating part of urban legends? The lack of evidence and proof to substantiate the stories. No one knows what became of the bodies, or of the son, for that matter. No one has been able to determine if the tale of the 7 sisters comes from a place of truth. But the tale persists and seems to have had a ripple effect that, even if it's not true, the current state of Seven Sisters Road tells a far different story that has the locals and anyone who visits believing wholeheartedly that even though time has led to only 4 of the original hills remaining, the haunting of Seven Sisters Road is very much real. There are many reported tales of haunting experiences reported by brave adventurers who decide to travel down the hilly roadside. Most commonly reported are the sounds of screams coming from the hills. Those who have been witness to the eerie screams state that it sounds like the screams of several women, maybe 7, and that these women sound absolutely terrified. As is extremely common amongst haunted locations, others will also repeat to experiencing electrical drain on their cell phones, car radio, and battery. Taking it one step further, they will say that upon entering the hilly area of Seven Sisters Road, that their car headlights will inexplicably grow dim, only to return to their former, more normal brightness as soon as the vehicle passes the area of the reported hangings. As many of you may already know, some cemeteries would bury their dead with a bell that could be rung on that off chance that the individual being buried wasn't quite dead after all. It would seem that the spirits of these 7 sisters still have a tale to tell, as many also report to hearing the faint sounds of bells ringing out while driving down the road, while passing the nearby cemetery. The sounds apparently can prevail for as long as 30 minutes. In an article written by David Ian McHenry back in July of 2017 for the website The 13th Floor, he would report, "Back in high school, I was returning from a party in the middle of the night. There had been hot summer thunderstorms earlier in the day, leaving a thick evening fog all over town. My car was your typical piece of shit high school student car, with a busted headlight and only an AM/FM radio that could only tune in 3 stations. My route home took me down a 1-lane gravel road surrounded by thick woods on either side. The road was a local celebrity with more haunted tales attached to it than a Poe anthology. Witches, demons, slaughtered hitchhikers, and Girl Scout troops never to be heard from again. It seemed that they all congregated on this twisted, unpaved thoroughfare. As my one headlight attempted to cut through the thick haze and illuminate one half of the road, my mind could not help but wonder what twisted evil was waiting for me on the other side of the fog. I turned up the radio to drown out these thoughts, but it was at that moment that some late-night radio DJ decided to play The End by The Doors. That sick son of a bitch. No matter where you live in America, your town probably has this same road. This road is older than the town and was probably laid down by the devil himself. It changes names from town to town, and usually has a few nicknames attached to it as well. You'd have no problem driving it during the day, but would drive 20 miles out of your way to avoid driving down it at night. While driving cross-country one summer, I found myself in Nebraska City, Nebraska, enjoying a midnight breakfast at a local diner. I got to talking with a waitress who asked me what I did in Los Angeles. Most of the time, I'd usually answer with broom salesman, but that night, I decided to mention that I work in horror. Almost immediately, she broke into a local tale about the Seven Sisters Road. Already fascinated by evil roots, I was instantly hooked and wanted to know more. The waitress then proceeded to tell David the gruesome tale of the 7 sisters and their murderous brother. The waitress then said that when they built the road years later, they had to chop down 7 trees all in a perfect row to allow for the road. To this day, people report hearing screams late at night. Some even say their lights always go dim as they drive down the road, only to brighten up once they turn off it. That night, I decided to take a little detour from the highway and drive a little farther south out of Nebraska City. Keeping an eye on my phone, I watched as L Street crept up closer. At that moment, and for reasons I can't explain, I decided to turn on the radio. Almost immediately, I was greeted by the voice of Jim Morrison, melodically singing about his only friend. The end. Is it a coincidence that the exact same song played for David that night? Or was someone trying to tell him something? With such a horrifying urban legend surrounding it, is it any wonder that several paranormal investigators and interested individuals have made trips to the area to try to have an experience for themselves? In a 2-part series conducted by the Higher Vibes Paranormal team and real-life couple Crystal and AJ, the pair would make their way to Seven Sisters Road, and in the second act of this intriguing tale, they would find themselves investigating not only the road, but the cemetery as well. And what they found and heard surprised them.
Well, we went to a Christian school, and when we got married, then they said, well, you guys can't be here because we can't have married couples. Yeah. I'm like, okay, so we could, whenever we wanted to, before we got married, but we're like, be here because we can't have married. Be here because we can't have married.
YouTube channel Haunted Findings would also find themselves on this infamous road with the intent of capturing some EVPs. And did he ever?
Is there anybody hearing me that wants to come forward and say hello? Hello, did you just hear that? That was a clear hello. Who are you, please? Please tell me who you are. I need to know your name. That could have been a name. Can you try and tell me how you died? What was that a minute? Did you knock on the window in the car? I believe so. Did you just hear that?
As always, it is up to you to determine what your thoughts are on this urban legend, and I would love to hear those thoughts in the comments below. Do you think it's true? Is it just an urban legend that has inspired the overactive imaginations of the locals and the hopeful longings of investigators hoping to find proof of the paranormal and life after death? Can sibling rivalry really lead to such dark ends? I suppose for some families that is true, and the unconditional love of family can somehow find its conditions. Whatever you believe, one thing is for certain. Driving down Seven Sisters Road at night is not something that I would recommend. I hope you liked our little paranormal pit stop this evening. And if you did, please consider giving this video a like, as is the easiest way to show your support. If you enjoyed what I'm doing and are interested in helping me to create more content, I have linked my social media and Patreon below. And before we pack up tonight, and while we're thinking of siblings, I'd like to let you all know of a new adventure I've started up with Azzy and my older brother Ryan. We formed our own YouTube channel, a little more lighthearted than what we're doing here, where we watch and comment on all of our favorite films. I would love to have you join us there as well. We watch the film, we eat some snacks, and we have a good time. I put the link to the channel in the description below, and I hope to see you over there soon. Our latest video on A Silent Voice is live now, and we will be tackling the Goonies next, so now is the best time to join us. Thank you all, as always, for your unconditional love and support. Everyone needs to have people in their corner, and I am truly glad that you are my people. Good night. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Do you like apples?
Yeah.
VENATOS.
How do you like them apples?
VENATOS is a premium gaming peripheral brand geared toward developing high-performance products. We're currently working toward creating new, exciting, and unique products not currently found on the market. With quality to match its sleek and beautiful design, I can honestly say that my VENATOS mouse is the best that I've ever owned, and I'm looking forward to expanding my collection of VENATOS products. VENATOS ships internationally with extremely low international shipping costs, and shipping is free to the US and Canada. Your products will arrive quickly and carefully packaged, with most orders arriving within 7 to 10 business days. If you're looking to upgrade your setup in an affordable way without substituting looks, VENATOS is an optimal choice, and when you use code PRESSSTARTMOM at checkout, VENATOS is offering a 10% discount on your order. You'll be doing mom a solid, and you'll be doing yourself a solid. Everyone wins. Thank you so much to VENATOS for sponsoring this video.
Late nights, been on long flights, stayed on strange time. It's a strange time in my life. I took a drive home to clear my mind.